Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nicole. I'm a beginner rider here to share my journey of learning to ride with you. And in today's video, we are going to talk about overcoming fear of learning to ride. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I kind of talk about how I was terrified to ride a motorcycle. I didn't even want to learn to ride. However, my boyfriend kind of convinced me to take this MSF course, and I ended up really enjoying riding. I still was very nervous. I still had a fear of riding on the road, and I even told him I would never buy my own bike. But here I am, bought my first bike, I'm riding on real roads, and I'm starting to feel a lot more confident. So if you're new to riding and you're wondering if you're ever gonna overcome that fear, you will. You eventually will start to feel more comfortable, more confident on your bike, and eventually that fear does go away. And here are some things that I did to help with that. The first thing I did was took a MSF class, a Motorcycle Safety Foundation class. This class was perfect for learning the essential fundamental skills of learning to ride a motorcycle and gives you hands-on experience in a controlled setting with instructors that really help you learn the progressions and build your confidence on a motorcycle. So I definitely highly recommend taking an MSF course before you start riding on the real road. The MSF course was also really great in teaching defensive driving skills. They talk about creating escape routes and knowing to anticipate what traffic is going to do. So having that knowledge of what to do in the event that a car maybe turns in front of you or whatever the case may be when you're riding, but being able to know how to drive defensively on a motorcycle is super important, especially with drivers that are so distracted on their cell phones and things like that. So having that MSF course, that foundations, and learning those defensive driving skills was very helpful in helping anticipate some of those things that you might encounter on the roads. Second most important thing to do is find a motorcycle that fits you. As a beginner, you want something that is your size, that isn't overly powerful, that you can control and learn and build confidence on. So I have a Yamaha MT-03. I'm 5'3", so it's perfect for my size. I'm able to still put my feet on the ground, and it's a bike that isn't overly powerful, so I can build confidence as I'm learning. Spending time getting to know your motorcycle is going to help you build confidence, become familiar with your bike's controls, handling, and capabilities. That way, when you're on the road, you know how it handles, you know what to expect, and you know what it should feel like when you're riding properly. With that being said, we went for a ride today and we were at a stoplight that did not sense our motorcycles, so it wouldn't change for us. So we ended up going right instead of left, and being that we went right, we ultimately had to make a U-turn on a 3-lane road. Now, I have practiced U-turns a million times in parking lots. I had to perform a U-turn on my license test, and I knew I was capable of doing that, but for some reason I got in my head, I wasn't prepared to make a U-turn, and I got so anxious about this move. So my brother Keith and my boyfriend Chris are in front of me on their Ducatis about to make this U-turn. I'm in the back saying, I'm not gonna be able to make that U-turn. I'm not gonna be able to do it. And I got all inside my head. And Chris came on the cardo and was like, Nicole, you've done this a million times. It's just like in the parking lot, except this U-turn is much wider than the U-turns you're used to because it's a 3-lane road. Despite all of that, I still was super nervous. So Chris talked me through it. He said, just look where you want to go, turn your head, and you'll be fine. So I start the U-turn, and I realize that I'm target fixating on the other road that's straight ahead of me, and I immediately turned my head, snapped it around, and made the U-turn. It was the worst U-turn I've ever made. It was super jerky, and I had to take the biggest, widest turn to make the turn. So my fear and my anxiety just totally took over, even though I had practiced this skill a million times. So now that I've had this experience on the real road, I will be back in the parking lot this week practicing U-turns like you will not believe, because I don't want to feel that fear or that anxiety come over me again when I'm riding. It's not fun to have that in your head when you're riding. It makes it scary. So if you're nervous, remember that is totally normal. With practice, with experience, that fear will start to fade and you'll find your love for riding just like I did. I hope this video has been helpful. Make sure to subscribe and I will see you guys next time.